Aristotle, AI, work, meaning, and freedom. What happens to a human life when machines can do most of the work? Not just better, not just faster, but indefinitely. This is no longer science fiction. AI writes emails, designs images, diagnoses illnesses, trades markets, and increasingly decides what we see, what we buy, and how we work. Most conversations focus on jobs, money, or fear, but ancient philosophy asks a deeper question. What was work ever for in the first place? More than 2,000 years ago, Aristotle explored what makes a life meaningful, free, and worthy of being lived. Long before offices, algorithms, or hustle culture existed. And strangely enough, his ideas may be more relevant now than ever. AI and work. What is work for? In modern life, work has become identity. We introduce ourselves by our job. We feel guilty when we're not productive. We measure our worth in outputs, deadlines, and efficiency. But for Aristotle, work was never the point. In ancient Greece, work, especially repetitive or survival labor, was seen as a means, not an end. The goal of life was not productivity. The goal was flourishing. Today, AI is doing something radical. It's slowly removing the necessity of human labor in many areas. A modern example, a marketing manager once spent hours writing reports. Now an AI drafts them in minutes. What used to take a workday now takes 10 prompts. Our instinct is panic. What happens to my value? Aristotle's answer would surprise us. Good, now the real work can begin. Because if survival labor shrinks, the question becomes unavoidable. Who are you when you are no longer defined by what you produce? AI exposes an uncomfortable truth. We tied our identity to something that was never meant to define us, meaning eudaimonia versus modern success. We often confuse meaning with happiness, or worse, success, money, status, recognition, metrics. Aristotle rejected all of these as shallow answers. He used a word instead, eudaimonia. It's often translated as happiness, but that misses the point. Eudaimonia means flourishing, living in accordance with reason, virtue, and excellence of character. Here's a modern example. Imagine two people. One earns a lot, is constantly busy, and feels anxious when not working. The other earns enough, but has time to think, reflect, build relationships, and develop wisdom. Modern culture celebrates the first. Aristotle would choose the second. Now enter AI. AI can outperform humans at speed, optimization, pattern recognition, but it cannot flourish. It cannot cultivate virtue. It cannot live well. In an AI-driven world, meaning shifts from achievement to character, from optimization to wisdom, from having more to becoming more. If machines can do more, humans must be more. Freedom, self-mastery in an algorithmic world. We usually define freedom as choice, more options, more platforms, more content. But Aristotle had a harsher definition. To him, a person ruled by impulse is not free. A person governed by reason is. Freedom was not external. It was internal. Now look at modern life. We wake up and scroll. Algorithms decide what we see. Notifications dictate attention. We react more than we choose. AI doesn't just automate labor, it automates desire. A modern example. You didn't decide to watch that video. It was recommended. You didn't choose that product. It was predicted. Aristotle would ask a brutal question. Are you governing yourself or being governed? In the AI age, freedom becomes rare and precious. Real freedom now looks like controlling attention, thinking slowly, choosing deliberately, resisting constant stimulation. Freedom is no longer about having options. It's about not being owned by them. The human role in an AI world. Aristotle believed everything has a function, a purpose. The function of a knife is to cut. The function of a flute is to play music. So what is the function of a human? His answer, rational activity in accordance with virtue, not calculation, not speed, not efficiency. Those belong to machines now. AI does not threaten humanity by replacing its function. It threatens us only if we misunderstand our own purpose. A modern example. AI writes code faster than a developer, but it cannot decide what should be built or why it should exist. The human role becomes clearer. Ethical judgment, wisdom, meaning-making, moral responsibility. AI doesn't erase humanity, it reveals it. Society and the status quo. Modern societies optimize for efficiency, growth, speed, scale. Aristotle would find this deeply incomplete. He believed societies exist not merely to survive, but to cultivate good humans. Now consider AI-driven systems, optimized platforms, automated decision-making, efficient but value-neutral tools. A society run only by efficiency becomes powerful, but hollow. The AI revolution forces a choice. Do we build smarter systems or wiser civilizations? The status quo assumes progress is automatic. Philosophy reminds us it is not. Conclusion. Aristotle never imagined artificial intelligence, but he understood something timeless. When external labor disappears, inner work becomes unavoidable. The AI age does not ask, and what will humans do? It asks, who will humans become? And that question, more than any algorithm, will define our future.